is Ostuni, and welcome back to another episode of What's My Loadout for Warframe. So last time I covered Valban, and I said, keyword said, as you can probably see in the background right now, that I was going to skip Inaros because I did a video of him not too long ago. But you know what? It wasn't as refined a video, I don't think, and there have been enough changes to him since the last video I did on him, so I think it actually deserves a bit of a revisiting. So, without further ado, my version of Inaros. And in case you guys didn't check out the last video, cool if you didn't, if you guys are new. But basically, my fashion frame is around him being based on Jehuti from Zone of the Enders. I'll try to remember to actually put a little picture kind of up on the side so you guys can kind of get a look at him if you guys don't know who I'm referring to. But I think I actually got the colors pretty much right. There's only so much you can really do to actually do it, though. So, first thing I'm going to do is fashion frame. Fashion frame... let's see, for my attachments here, it's all of the Quoro armor set. I figured that probably looks the best as far as everything fits the theming I wanted to do with Jehuti, and also hits, or kind of goes with all the high-tech weaponry that I've actually given Inaros. To be honest, I'm actually thinking about giving him another stance, too. I haven't decided what's going to be yet, but for the theming that I'm going for, I don't like the you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't fit very well, like, for something that's supposed to be based off of a high-tech robot that, like, is rather graceful in movement, to be honest. So, as far as the helmet goes, it's the Anubis helmet. I got that right off the bat. I was just like, oh god, yes, I'm going to do that. And then pretty quickly I was able to go, you know, he actually kind of looks like Jehuti a little bit. So that's kind of how that came along. As far as the Cyandana goes, this is from Tenogen. This is the Skiathan Cyandana. Pretty cool jetpack themed Cyandana. We've seen a lot of these come out of Tenogen, and I figured that this fitted the theming that I was going for pretty well, so I just decided to do that. So, next thing we're going to go with is my mod setup. Mod setup, fairly simple. And this is pretty much how you want to do Inaros, Nidus, and also I figured this out. I don't know why I never thought about this, but you can actually do this for Wukong too, and Wukong gets like stupid fucking results from this. But here is the mod that makes Inaros and Nidus, and especially Wukong, so dangerous and so, like, reliable, is Rage. And it's actually a combination of mods. Rage happens to be one of them. Rage converts 40% of your damage from health into energy. Now for Wukong, that is perfect because of Deify, because it'll just perpetually feed his energy as long as you're in a fight to where he basically just cannot die. However, as always, it's better to have more people with him, so that's kind of a limitation on that. But you'll see in a little bit how Rage actually goes in combination with a mod I have in store later on. I've got Energy Siphon for my actual aura. I'm thinking about actually... replacing that with, let's see, where is it here? I know I've got it. It should be somewhere near the front, if not. Well, actually, I'll show you. Growing Power, because I actually have two very good status weapons in the game. I'm not sure, or for Inaros, I should say. But I don't know if Inaros with his actual powers are good enough to really use. Like, I'll have to actually take a look at that. It could be that maybe his number 4 ability, as far as getting armor, would scale with that. In which case, that would be insane if I could get an extra 25% like armor added on. That would be fucking crazy. So I decided to do armor agility. I want to get armor up as best I can, which is kind of ironic because I have 8 out of 10 steel fiber, in which I'm actually going to have to form with this guy anyway, so it's okay. That just gives me more motivation to actually kind of get him up there and actually make room for other mods, because I still have an Exilus slot right there. Stretch for his number 1, his pocket sand. Let's see, streamline, just so I could pop off his particularly his number 1 ability a little bit more often. Ability strength. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly what mods really play well off of his strength. I probably put this on whenever I really wanted to use the sandstorm kind of ability, but we all know how that's turned out. Like, that is not really the thing. But here's the really interesting thing. In case you guys have never seen Inaros being built before, that and that is all you need. You need no redirection because you can't add anything onto zero shields. So I know what you're thinking. Probably it's like, Ostuni, what the fuck? Like, how is this gonna work? A fucking Warframe with no shields. How is that viable? Well, apparently it's very viable, and I'll show you in a little bit. And Rage has a lot to do with it, but the other mod has something to do with it too that I'll show you. But for right now, I'm going to actually show off something else. This is another reason I really wanted to cover my Inaros loadout, is because I've actually given him the lens bow. This is the brand new Corpus bow that they've given us pretty recently, and this thing kicks all sorts of ass. This thing is amazing. Like, hold on, I'm going to go through it with you guys, because this is it with no forma entirely. I can't wait to actually form this to put a little bit more on there, because I can already see I could probably put the impact damage mod on there, increase that like just tenfold, all sorts of stuff. But here is the coolest thing about it. It's one of the bows where you can actually get to 125% crit chance. That's right, whenever you get that point strike on there, you have the chance for going for quad crits without really having to do much, and I think that is awesome. Now, the other thing here is that you actually don't want to build for status on this. You're going to want to go with straight up damage. Now, the other odd thing about this weapon is that it has cold and blast already on it. So the way that works is, as the projectile hits, it causes cold damage in an area of effect. You get an actual visual cue of who's all going to be affected. And then after a short little bit of time, it explodes and does blast damage. And it is a 1-2 punch. And I am surprised that, like, this is a weapon that we can just get through, like, dojo research. Like, even if the mastery rank is pretty high, this just seems like such a powerful weapon to give to us even through that. Like, it does require quite a bit of field drawn though, like about, I think it's 9 that you actually need, but still, like, this thing is great. This thing is just great. So another thing that's actually pretty interesting about this is that you have the ability to have 3 damage types on this thing, because you have the pre put on there cold, you have blast, and now I have corrosive on there as well because of infected clip and stormbringer. Now, what I want to do is I want to form of this, and I actually want to put cryo rounds on there so I can actually get the cold damage up so it can do just as much. And then I'll probably form it once more. Well, maybe I might have to do it a little bit more, because it looks like I'm going to have to definitely get some, because I'll have 7, 8, and that's not going to be enough. So I'll have to do at least, it looks like I'm going to have to do 3, but what I'm going to do and what I'd suggest for you guys to do, and you guys can make the suggestion to me in the comments, is I'm going to put cryo rounds in there at some point, and then I'm going to get a impact damage mod on there. I probably only have the copper one. That's fine though. But here's something else that you guys may notice. I'll try to wrap this up though. Why don't I have the sniper ammo mutation on there? Simple, because apparently this already has it on there, and even though it only has 7 rounds, as long as you have a companion that has the vacuum ability, you're good to go. Like, you will not run out of ammo for this thing. It is very, very hard to. So basically, yeah. In fact, a clip, Stormbringer for my elemental combo, and because those are what you get as far as your polarities right off the bat. Serration, Split Chamber, Speed Trigger, Point Strike, and then, like I said, you'll have to dump probably 3 Forma to get everything that you really want out of this weapon. But just initially, this thing hits like a fucking truck. So, yeah. So next is the Synoid Gamma Core. I like this weapon just a bunch, and I think I actually need to put one more mod on there. I think I upgraded a mod and then it had to be taken off. But here's the cool thing, is that with only 2 dual stat mods, we are already at 75.2% status chance. So hypothetically, I put one more on there, I get to about maybe 80 or even 90, and then I put the other one on there, I'm definitely getting to 100. So the way I've got it right now is I do have Sure Shot on there. I will format that here in the future to actually get that to where it can either be for Hornet Strike or Barrel Diffusion, depending on if I need to actually put 2 in there. But yeah, Sure Shot for 15%. It was what I had. So Barrel Diffusion, Hornet Strike, Jolt, Lethal Torrent, Scorch, and then Convulsion for that dash polarity at the very end. Because I likes me some electrical. Now the next one is a lot to do with aesthetic. Like, it aesthetically is pleasing to me because it actually goes with the theming of high tech that I was going for this particular fashion frame. But the Oma, this is the newest Tonfa that we've had, is the Corpus Tonfa. Again, a lot of Corpus weapons in this, now that I think about it. But it is, I like it, and I think you'll see why, because I just made a certain addition to it. So basically, in case you guys have ever been curious, this has the stance mod Sovereign Outcast. So if you've ever been curious as to how it plays out as far as combos and everything goes and how good it is, you'll be able to see that today. So here's the other mod that combos together with Rage so well that kind of makes this build. Life Strike. So basically, you get 20% lifesteal, but you gain, but it becomes a lot more energy consuming, 12 per hit to channel into your weapon, and that's how you activate the lifesteal for, like, whenever you're actually just swinging this weapon around. But the thing is that since you actually have Rage on, and all you have is health, see where I'm going with this? You will always be getting energy back as long as you stay in the fight. And since your number 4, if you get it charged up all the way from the beginning, is going to give you a supreme amount of armor, you should only have to resort to this every so often, even in like really high level situations. So it all works together very well. It all synergizes really well. It's just really cool. But that's not all there is to this weapon that makes it awesome. Because as you can see, with all 4 of the status element mods, I am at 100% status chance. So, what does that mean that I can do, boys and girls? You can see it on the very end up in the corner. I can use Condition Overload for 60% melee damage for each type of status affecting the target. So this thing is going to hit really, 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 really hard. Now, I have Berserker on here as well because as long as you have at least 15% crit chance, I think, honestly, you can use Berserker. That's basically my minimum that I've seen. Like, I've watched a couple other videos as far as, like, when to use Berserker. I think 15% is your bare minimum. Like, if it goes below that, it's just not gonna proc, like, your crits aren't gonna proc often enough for you to really get anything out of it. And of course, at the very end, you have your prime pressure point. So, actually, hold on. Oh, that's interesting. I actually was able to put the pressure point in a non-polarity slot and save more capacity. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Actually, the cool thing about this particular setup is I told you guys a while back that if I actually had a companion that was essential to a layout, I would let you know, and today is one of those days. And it's because Growls is coming with us. Now, Growls is a Horas Kubro, and what that means is that he is the Kubro, or well, I should say she is the Kubro, that can actually turn you invisible at random points. And the cool thing is that it's not like the Shade ability, like you actually get to become invisible for a pretty good amount of time. The key is basically when you want to turn invisible, just disengage from the enemy. Just kind of go back a little bit. But I'll show you how I got him modded, or how I got her modded. I'm so used to calling it him. I don't know why. But here's the thing. Maxing out Kubro mods is a big undertaking in itself, but with everything that I've got on her, it's pretty good. Although I actually use configuration B, I think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So basically, I've got Link Armor and Link Health. The thing is that you don't need to waste any of your space for Link shields because Inaros has no shields to Link, and that health is going to definitely come in handy. Let's see. Pack Leader is really good for any situation, because you were going to be using lifesteal a pretty good bit, so it's going to go back into your Kubro pretty well. So basically, your Kubro can hypothetically stay alive as long as Inaros can. See, then we got Maul for that extra melee damage. Got Animal Instinct, because who doesn't like the ability to see where people are and get loot? Bite for that critical chance and for critical damage. Wonder how much it'll actually be whenever it gets all the way leveled up. I really need to get into this, but I've sunk already 4 Forma just to get this far. Stalk is that ability that actually will turn you invisible, which is awesome. And let's see, also, yeah, Link Health. Oh, Shelter. Shelter is basically just an extra mod that you can throw on there, so if you want to be a good person and help people out, you can. But to be honest though, now that I'm really thinking about it, I think it's time to retire Growls for this layout. That was actually kind of a thing. You know what? I'll actually cut that out, but yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, so I just realized my Kubro isn't really going to help us out all that much with this particular layout, but basically what you want to do is you want to get any kind of Sentinel on there. If you have a preference, by all means have your preference. I'm going to use Helios Prime because of, like, the reason I really want to emphasize that you want to use a Sentinel right here is because they have the ability to use Vacuum. And Vacuum is pretty important for lens, because you want to be able to not have to worry about ammo for the lens. So that basically will pick up all ammo around you, and all extra ammo for the for any other weapon that you don't use gets converted into ammo for the lens, in which you only have 7 charges at a time. So you can imagine that if you actually did decide to go and not do that, you would have to be searching around like all the time. Like, not really hard, but you would have to like waste time and actually pick up ammo, in which you don't want to be doing that. You want to be slinging arrows as much as you possibly can. But for now, we're gonna go to mod. And this time I actually do believe that this build will carry us. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it for about 10 minutes and let you see just how easy it is for this build to survive. Like, and I know that there'll be some people that'll be all like, man, why don't you just go in like super duper 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 high missions? Like, well, not everybody's going to do super duper high missions all the time.
Trigger the alarm.
So basically, for those of you,
and I am the will.
I am the Warframe will. All right. So here's the thing: for those of you who haven't played as a Inaros before, what you're going to want to do right off the bat is you're going to want to use your 4th ability, Scarab Swarm, and you're going to want to drain all that health right off the bat, so you get that maximum armor possible. Let's see. Now, the next part is you're going to want to have your melee weapon with Life Strike out. So now let's go ahead and make some people angry. Alright. So let's do
They've turned off
this.
critical life support systems. I suspected they might try this.
Let's see
Stand
here.
by for
Where's
support.
somebody that we can just kill the shit out of? Here's someone. Alright, and with channeling, we should get back to full health pretty quickly. Although there is a way that you can get to that even quicker, is basically use pocket sand, and then you get that special kill. You see how fast the health actually went back up? Like, you get a pretty good chunk of it back from that. Alright.
Personal life support modules dropped by fallen enemies.
Go ahead and get into the thick of battle here. Alright. Now we're actually talking that Berserker. I love that. And I think as far as Sovereign Outcast goes, the stance that I'm actually using for this for these Tonfas, I think the combo where you actually block is probably the best one. That's the one I'm actually using right now. It's just fun to watch, really, and I mean, like, it has a chance to hit multiple times, all sorts of stuff, all sorts of fun stuff. But yeah, this is the fray that you want if you're going to frequent survival a whole bunch.
Additional life support has arrived.
Alright. Actually, I'm going to put in a little bit more work. I forgot that this is actually one that I've done with Inaros a whole bunch of times. But it ain't necessarily so bad. I mean, not really. Definitely have to actually get the steel fiber up. And you know what? That's actually a really interesting question of the day. I'm going to go ahead and actually ask you guys it. Is there a mod that you guys have that you have been trying to get to max out, and for some reason it's just taking you like forever to get it? I know for me, it was basically just all of the beginning mods that you should really try to max out from the beginning. Serration, Redirection, I think Vitality may still not even be maxed out for me. You guys saw that Steel Fiber is maxed out. But it's not like it's really that hard to do it nowadays. I mean, if you really want to max out mods like those nowadays, you can do it. It's not as god-awful hard as it used to be before the Endo rework. But yeah, what's a mod that you guys still need to get around to maxing out that you guys have been really meaning to? Something tells me I'm going to get a lot of either serration or probably even redirection. But yeah, I mean, probably pretty soon, whenever I actually do videos just to fuck around with friends and stuff like that, I'll probably wind up be grinding for like Endo and credits to be able to max out some of those mods that are like that. Especially some of my Kuro mods, because I want my Kuro to be awesome. Well, actually, he is pretty awesome now. It's just I would like him to be even more exponentially awesome. Alright, so now I think we've had enough of the Tonfas. Now I think it's time for us to start seeing what the lens can do. Now let's see. Let me get a good groove. There we go. Oh my god. That was awesome. You see that? God, I love this. Alright, so cold freezes them basically in place. And then the rest of that damage, boy, just... Oh. But the thing is, though, is that this weapon, through the tag, lets you know that this is meant to be used from further away. Uh-oh. Boy, you want some of this, bitch? You want some? You want some, soldier boy? I'll mess you up, I swear to God. Ooh. Boom!
But they are mere trespassers. Only I, Thor, know the true power of the flame.
Let me go ahead and get my health back real quick. There we go.
Is off to a successful start.
Yeah, get off me. Get off me.
Extraction.
So where is, uh-oh. I just realized that I need to actually get my life support percentage up. That's one thing that is kind of hard about doing a YouTube video, is that, like, you don't have anybody to go, hey dude, hey dude, hey dude, hey dude, hey dude, what? Life support. So yeah, that's something I would really like, is I would like to be able to do these videos with somebody, like, consistently. Because, like, one of my friends from work was saying, like, he would like to do some shit on YouTube. He really would. But it's one of those things to where you, where he would like someone to bounce off of. And I don't blame him in the least bit. I wish I had somebody to bounce off of in this on this channel all the time. Because, I mean, like, even when things are, like, a little bit boring, or even when I get zeroed in, somebody can kind of try to make me laugh in the middle of shit, or who knows. But that's neither here nor there. I'll try to pay a little bit more attention to the actual life support bar. And speaking of which, we should go ahead and get that. But yeah. Gotta love those, dual status mods. It's probably the easiest one to get. It's probably all of the poison ones. To be honest, though, I don't think I've ever seen the rifle one actually drop from Vor, though. I think I actually had to get that one with a little bit of platinum. God. It's so weird how good this weapon is, and I don't even have it fully modded out. Like, I really want to flesh this thing out and make it into a real monster. Jeez. And here's the thing that's really cool too. I'll see if I can try to do this for you guys. Like, this is pretty awesome too. Is if you can land a headshot, it will ragdoll them back. Let's see if I can do it. Ooh. Come on. Yeah. So it just fucking travels back, and the explosion goes with them. So you can launch them back, ragdoll them into enemies, kill some enemies that way, and if there happen to be enemies around them whenever they get to their intended destination, they'll kill them with the explosion! It's magnificent! Alright, so let's go with some Cyanide Gamma Core now. Cyanide Gamma Core is a really simple weapon, but it's really effective. It just, like, you can pretty much just kind of wave it around and it'll cut enemies to pieces. And plus, it's always awesome whenever you can trigger that status proc. Now, for the life of me, I can't actually remember what the status proc is for this group of particular weapons, the cyanide, or the cynoid weapons. I really almost call it cyanide weapons. I did, didn't I? Well, I did call them cyanide weapons. Fucking rage at me in the comments, bitch. Uh-oh. Nope. Nope. Not dealing with a nullifier. Ain't gonna lose my armor to you, bitch. Ain't no way in hell. Alright, so we're just about out of time, but like, I hope you guys got something out of really seeing these weapons in combination in action. Like I said, just building overall for Inaros is easy. In higher level missions, as I've actually figured out just through this little recording, they can still actually be pretty fun to survive. Like, you still do have to do a little bit of management in order to survive. But then again, I would rather prefer that than being able to just, like, not really think at all and just survive in spite of, like, the mechanics of the game and everything like that. Like, I want a little bit of, like, I want to exert a little bit of effort, at least, to actually survive. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. So that is my build for Inaros. To be honest, though, I may actually change up his melee weapon again here at some point. I'm not sure to what. Uh-oh. Can I? You know what? Uh-oh. Well, that's what I was saying before, is that sometimes you need someone to actually tell you, hey, motherfucker, you need to watch your survival gauge. That's fine, because I was wanting to get out of here anyway, so it kind of all evened out the way that it should have. So we're fine. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to know when the next episode is coming out. And as I said before, question of the day, once again for you guys, what is a mod that you guys have been meaning to max out for a while, but for some reason, like, you just forget about, or you're just like, oh god, I'm just never gonna get around to it. Like, I expect a lot of people, surprisingly, will probably actually put one of those core mods like Vitality, Serration, maybe Hornet Strike, or something like that. But I bet a lot of other people will probably mention some Prime mods too. Because, speaking from experience, I actually did max out Prime Vigor not too long ago. That was very, very taxing. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe to know when the next video is coming out, and I will show you guys who's coming up next. That's right, I remember who. Volt is up next, so if you guys are curious about how I actually build Volt up, maybe some fashion frame that I did for, or that I do for him, definitely tune into the next episode. This is Ostuni, signing out!